I just don't think there's anything that compares to the sound of a bull elk bugling his brains out and the intensity of that situation. Like, there's nothing like it. For me, what makes a hunt very, very memorable and special and fun is like the experience that goes into killing the animal. So like, was it a great stalk? Did you make a good shot? It's very easy for things to not go in your favor as planned. You can be really close, but getting just that extra 10, 15 yards so you can make a shot is sometimes very difficult. Woo. Brought a sando for today. Don't be jealous. I really enjoy hunting rutting elk in September.
We're doing a little backpack hunt, archery elk hunt here. This is kind of one of my favorite times of year just to be out towards the end of the month. Can't be one of the most difficult times to kill an elk towards the end of the month for archery elk. I see elk. But we're hunting this kind of the way I love to do it, which is no agenda. We're just gonna follow our nose, wherever the elk take us, hopefully, and just kind of wander, which is a really fun way to hunt. We just started this hunt on our way up to where we want to hunt, but I can see 3 elk right now across this canyon. Always good when you see elk. I have no idea there's a bull in there. But we're gonna have to sit here for just a few more minutes and see if anything comes out. Kind of late morning on our first day here, and decided to set up camp near this spring water source. There's elk sign everywhere, so I don't want to just bail off the backside of this mountain and get even further away unnecessarily. Not a lot of talking going on right now. Few bugles. There's a sign everywhere, so I know there's elk around. Just need something to spot so we can spot and stalk it, or something to respond to calls.
We're late in September here, so most of these bulls have cows with them, and so I know that the plan for me all along was not to try and call a bull in. It was to try and sneak in while using the calls as a locator.
There is a bull. I'll bet he's no more than 250 yards from us, who's like weakly bugling in his bed occasionally, but not enough to like seem like he's interested, just like letting us know he's there. It's almost annoying that he's bugling. That's how weak it is. Mr. Weak Bugle disappeared. He was responsive there for quite a while, but he does not appear to be playing ball anymore.
This is a kind of hunt that requires a lot of work. These bulls are pressured. There are boot tracks all over up here. Like, we're not close to a road at all. And yet lots of people get after it. And so these bulls have been, I have no doubt, called at a bunch. You got to be just like sneaky and deadly. And that's the whole plan, whole name of the game, I think, and towards the end of the month.
There's just not a lot of talking going on at all. And we're in a really good strategic spot to hear. It's quiet. I don't know what's going on. I feel like this time in September there should be at least one elk that's bugling just a little bit, and there really isn't. All we heard yesterday was just a handful of, we heard one good bugle in the morning, but then after that it was just like a couple of the weakest bugles you've ever heard in your life. This morning, go up, Let's see if we can at least get eyes on some elk on the backside, because it's really good looking elk country, and then go from there. That's a big eagle. We got some elk and a pretty nice bull rutting cows, rutting around down here. Super cool. This is exactly what we wanted. I think this is going to be a game of patience today. We're going to have to follow this herd all day today here. Wait for the right opportunity. But there's bulls just running around down here chasing cows everywhere. 40 head of elk. And it's just real open. There's really no approach that we can do without being in their line of sight. So I think the plan is to really kind of just have to wait and see what these elk do, where they bed, and then we're just gonna dog them. Move really slowly. There's kind of cows just hanging out. We're looking this direction. We don't want to do that before the sun hits us. Well, now we've cut the distance here. We're about 400 yards from this herd. These elk are still just feeding. And I'm trying to just make sure we play the wind right as we continue to just kind of sneak in. Just saw 2 cows and calves run. There's cows leaving this basin in a hurry. But that bull is not with them. So these elk pulled a classic bait and switch. We were getting in close on them, and then they all of a sudden decided to go down to the bottom of the drainage and all the way back up the other side, kind of where we started to go, because there's a bunch of green timber over there. I'm sure they're going to bed. My guess is they've been out. It's kind of a bright moon night. They're probably out here most of the night feeding, bedding and whatnot. And now they're going back to the timber to sleep for the day. So now we're going all the way back around to where we started. A lot of fun. Hopefully we can refine that bull. He's bugling enough to where I imagine he'll... Oh, there's a bugle below us. Choices. That was a pretty weak bugle though. But that bull was pretty nice, so I think that's going to be our play, unless what I just heard turns out to be something better than what I think it is. Found him. For a couple bugles. It's frustrating when they just stop. Hard to find elk that aren't talking. My hope is they went in this stuff and bedded down, so they're going to be stationary for the rest of the afternoon. But I have no idea, because they're elk, and elk do what they want. That was close. That was a decent bull too. We're just trying to make an open country, direct at him stalk, just going slow. And I'll be damned if we didn't almost pull it off. That guy ranged that bull at about 100 yards. That's the closest. And then they decided they wanted to go to their bedding area and they just like cruised across. We're not going to catch them in the last 15 minutes of daylight here. Oh, it's a bummer. But man, what a day. We've been like in elk all day. And I love that. So it just makes me feel good about where we're at. There's kind of like elk all around. We're in a really good spot. We're camped in a good spot. So now we just need to kind of have the chips fall our way. Plan is to kill an elk. Same plan as yesterday, except do a better job than yesterday. Well, we just dropped in, coming after a bull, dropped way down this ridge, and then who was really consistently bugling late morning, and then he's just kind of turned off. So now basically we have to go all the way back up. This is the second time we've been lured downhill a long ways after a bull, and then turn around and go right back up.
Second time what? Second time today? Second time?
This is the second time today. Second time. It's almost 1 o'clock, and this is the second time this has happened to us. It's really frustrating. So now it's hot, and now we're going to turn around in the blazing sun and cruise up a few miles back up this ridge. So that's a lot of fun. So that's what we get to do. I think by the time I got back up to the top yesterday, I was pretty, just a little mentally exhausted. Oh, there's some elk right there. So last night we saw that bull, and it was very hard for me to not take a chance and say, let's just go in. We got, an hour and 45 minutes of daylight. Let's go see if we can't get in and sneak in on him. But I just, based on where he was at, wind direction, it seemed like it was not a smart move. And so decided we're not going to go after that bull. I had a feeling he would still be around because they had everything they needed. They had food, they had water. And right now there's nobody else up here to push him around. This is our 4th day. Left some elk over last night over in the burn. Gonna see if we can't go relocate them or find some new elk. And but I didn't know if he was gonna be up there. And sure enough, this morning, they were still in the same vicinity. They couldn't have been more than 300 yards from where we left him last night. And importantly, instead of the wind going kind of being swirly, going up sideways, there was a really consistent wind kind of in our face and slightly downhill. And so I knew we could just go straight at him.
Meow, meow, meow.
that, buddy. How about that? Come on. Come on. Oh my God. You know, for me, elk hunting is mostly a meat gathering type situation because elk meat is fantastic and it's my whole family loves it. And so on this hunt in particular, I have to balance the expectation of knowing that like this is what feeds the family, but also like I like killing mature animals. Today worked out so amazing because that was a mature bull. He's not the biggest bull I've ever killed, but he's a mature bull. He was a herd bull. He had his own little group of cows. And they don't get that size without being pretty savvy. So for me, what makes a hunt very, very memorable and special and fun is like the experience that goes into killing the animal. So like, was it a great stalk? Did you make a good shot? All those things add up. And in this situation, like that's exactly what happened. Like we made a great stalk. We made all of our moves really well. And then in that moment, I was able to make a good shot. And so like that all adds up to a phenomenal experience, and that's the expectations that I have of myself. And it doesn't always go that way. In fact, oftentimes something goes wrong, and but in this situation, things worked out really well.